Well, we made it to Monday. I mean, we made it to Friday last week, and then, the weekend comes and goes, and then we're back to Monday. I know. I'm as disappointed as you are. Kathleen, how was your weekend? I didn't have to call you in, so that was good, right?
Well, that was good. I was waiting for it, but no, I didn't hear from you. It was nice. It was relaxing. I think the on and off rain just made it kind of relaxing. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Did you get anything big accomplished or just kind of chill?
no, I mean, I did my usual stuff, laundry, cleaning, things like that, but nothing big, but
Yeah,
semi
I got out.
accomplished.
I got out and cut the grass. My wife was yelling at me. She's like, "You can't cut the grass when it's raining." And I'm like, "I'm going to cut it between the rain. I'm going to go out. I'm going to let it dry just enough so I can get out there and cut it." And I no sooner had finished cutting the grass and it opened up again. And I was like, "Ooh, good
Oh,
timing." But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where like if you don't do it, and it's going to rain all week this week, by the time we get to the next weekend, it's going to be, I'm gonna have to go out there with a machete and find like a tribe of people who've never had human contact in my backyard.
right.
It's something else. So,
It
all
grows
righty.
fast.
Yeah, like my hair grows fast. I was on Newsnight, WUCF's Newsnight program with Stephen Mort last week, and I was watching the clip of it, and I hadn't realized how, like, I know how long my hair is getting, but I hadn't realized what it looks like until I was watching it. I'm like, it's going to get cut soon. It's going to have to.
Oh no.
It's going to have to. So, all righty. Well, let's head over to Candace Campos, who has put together a weather forecast for us as we are all waiting to see. The tropics are kind of quiet right now, but things could be changing. Here's Candace with a forecast.
Your Monday afternoon will continue to stay on the soggier side, so make sure you got the rain gear handy not only for your Monday but for Tuesday and Wednesday as well, as we are going to continue to see those off and on kind of scattered downpours that could be bringing a lot of rain in a short amount of time, and also keeping temperatures at bay. That earlier start to the rain, a little more cloud cover earlier in the day, will be keeping temperatures for your Monday and Tuesday near to below average in the low 90s. And rain, by the way, just because it starts up early doesn't mean it will be ending early, as we could see some of those scattered showers continue beyond sunset. So kind of widening out the view and see what's going on right now on our satellite and radar composite. You can see that weakening cold front just kind of sliding off the coast there, and that's still going to be producing plenty of rain. So you see all of this moisture and instability already getting picked up on the national radar. All that is going to crisscross the state for today. So although it might not be directly this rain, it will be infusing a lot more scattered showers as the sea breeze once again develop, all thanks to that cold front up to our north, keeping things again on the stormier side. The rain chances for your Monday once again back up to about a 60 to 70%. Some of our southern zones could hold on to that coverage up to about 80%. So as we take you here throughout the next few hours, scattered showers once again will start to spread from west to east. Again, we are going to be seeing a lot of moisture moving in from the Gulf, and as it does so, it will be dumping some of those heavier downpours, gusty winds, frequent lightning, with most of it starting to kind of wrap up around sunset for tonight. And then as we head into Tuesday, notice another active start by lunchtime, 1 o'clock. We'll still start to see those scattered showers out over the East Coast, moving in from the west. So you can see by 4 or 5 o'clock around that dismissal time, after school activities, we will have to dodge some rain. It's not going to be a complete blanket of rain and thunderstorms. So again, you will have that opportunity of maybe even squeaking by and having those after school practices and whatnot. So as we take it here hour by hour, so you can kind of plan out your day. By about this evening, 3, 4 o'clock, that's where rain chances will start to surge back up to about 70%. But this cold front's going to linger just enough throughout at least Thursday and Friday to keep things pretty unsettled. Rain chances for the most part do kind of back off a little bit though as we head into Wednesday. But moving on beyond Thursday, there's another system here that's expected to kind of sweep down into the Gulf. Some models are picking that area of low pressure to maybe develop a little more, maybe bring us some more tropical moisture. Unfortunately, it looks like that could fall during our Labor Day weekend. Quick check on the tropics. This is still tropical storm Ferdinand. Sustained winds of 60, still holding on to tropical storm status. But as it continues to stay a tropical storm, it will continue to stay out to sea. So this is what we call a fish storm, as it will not be impacting any land areas. As your results here, your full 7-day forecast. Temperatures, again, with that early start to the rain and clouds, should be keeping those highs near normal in those low 90s. But again, a decent shot of rain off and on for the next couple of days.
It is going to be a soggy one out there. All right. Thank you, Candace. Well, one of the controversies we've been following for the last several days deals with the crosswalk that's next to the now closed Pulse nightclub. The crosswalk back in 2018 was painted with a rainbow pattern to remember the 49 lives that were lost at that nightclub. Well, the state came in and painted over it, got rid of the rainbow, just a simple black and white crosswalk. Well, in response, several people arrived there and were upset by this, and so they took chalk, and the chalk put the rainbow back out there. Of course, we have rain come through, it washes the chalk away. So they came out with paint to put the rainbow back in place. Well, once again, the state stepped in and covered up the rainbow, this back and forth between those who want to see the crosswalk there to remember the lives lost and the state who says, we're not having these kinds of things. Mark Lehman has this report.
I'm News 6's Mark Lehman, and we are in Orlando outside the Pulse nightclub where a battle continues over what used to be a rainbow-colored crosswalk here outside of the club. It's since been painted over by Florida Department of Transportation officials, and over the weekend, officers were positioned nearby, and protesters tell us they've been threatened with arrest if they paint over the crosswalk.
In the maybe 2 hours we've been here, they've changed what the rule is at least 4 times.
The weekend was filled with unrest outside the Pulse nightclub as a battle continues over the rainbow crosswalk many had called a memorial to the 49 victims of the 2016 massacre. State troopers and Orlando police were positioned nearby after protesters repainted the rainbow, forcing the Florida Department of Transportation to paint it black and white again.
They are trying to intimidate people by having more officers here so that people will be afraid.
FDOT first covered up the rainbow on Thursday. That happened after U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy sent a memo to all 50 governors urging them to keep intersections free of political messages and artwork not tied to pedestrian or driver safety.
I think they're full of it. They're colors on the road. If that's a distraction to you driving, then maybe you shouldn't be driving.
The city of Orlando says they received a list from FDOT of nearly 20 non-compliant locations, but the crosswalk outside Pulse was not on that list.
I think it's wrong. It's one of the small few things that we have as a memorial to this tragic event.
And at this point, there's a long list of questions we're working to get answered from FDOT. We've asked them if they directed FHP and Orlando police to monitor the area, how long that will happen, and what will happen to someone if they paint over the crosswalk. As soon as we get any answers, we'll let you know. In Orlando, Mark Lehman, News 6.
And we did just get a word from Orlando police. Police were out there at the request of FDOT and of the Highway Patrol, which is also out there keeping an eye on the situation. As far as the crosswalk goes, there are still people out there wanting to put the rainbow back in place. And for anyone who is familiar with this area, where this street is located, basically it's a dead end street. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's a block, maybe 2 blocks long, and that's it. There's some businesses back there, which I don't know if they're being occupied right now. So it's not a high volume, high traffic street. It mainly served the Pulse nightclub when it was still open and the Dunkin' Donuts across the way, which is right now where we're seeing law enforcement put up so that they can keep an eye on what's going on at the crosswalk. Well, staying in Orange County, there's a fight brewing in one neighborhood over a lake. And the problem is that the lake keeps encroaching on people's property. People like lakefront property, but not when the lake starts to eat away at your property. Now, the city of Apopka says it has a solution, but the problem, as it usually is the cost and the execution. Justin Warmoth has the story.
So it continues to get higher and higher, and now it's raising right now.
Brian Mader is HOA president of Clear Lake Landings, one of the neighborhoods that borders Clearwater Lake. For the last few years, he's watched the water levels rise, eating away yards and getting closer to homes.
20 houses along this lake. Out of all of them, all their fences, their sprinkler lines, everything's already in the water.
Mader blames what he calls overdevelopment for the higher levels, since the lake wasn't a problem until new neighborhoods were built nearby.
We didn't cause this issue. Right. That's the problem. If it's something that we did, if my son's out playing baseball and he breaks a window, it's my problem, right? But we didn't cause it. Right. The 20 people that live along this lake didn't cause it.
But the city wants the neighborhood, which is one of 4 owners of the lake, to cover the $456,000 price tag for a permanent pump, billing all 142 homes in the subdivision. Mader says that's a tough sell, especially for those who aren't lakefronts.
They don't see this lake unless they come for a walk. We don't have access to it, so you can't come over here and fish it. You can't walk on a trail over here to walk around it or do anything. So the sale's really, really tough.
At a recent workshop, Apopka Mayor Brian Nelson pitched the plan as a cost-saving measure for homeowners. It would take the neighborhood off reclaimed city water and instead use lake water to irrigate their lawns.
The mayor was going around trying to sell this big, lovely plan that they were going to save each homeowner $50, and you would be able to pump anytime you needed to out of this lake because it's technically free water. I think the mayor knows that this problem was brought in by the overbuilding here in the community, and he's going to say, hey, I went over there, I put this pump in there, I helped him out. You don't do that if you're not wrong.
That was Justin Warmoth reporting. Well, from issues with the lake to something we all dread, and that is the notice from the county clerk letting you know that you have been selected for jury duty. You know, it's your civic duty to go out and, if called upon, sit in judgment. But it's also one of those things that nobody likes to give up the time, especially if they end up on a jury and have to be there for several days. It's important, yes, but it's also now become a issue of crooks using fake jury notices. In fact, hitting you up and saying you missed your jury assignment and therefore you owe money. It's the latest in the schemes and ripoffs. Lewis Bolden has this report.
Volusia County deputies arrested 47-year-old Lakeisha Hurd for grand theft and organized scheme to defraud. She was extradited to Florida from her home in Atlanta after detectives say she scammed a Volusia woman into depositing $9,300 into a Bitcoin ATM. Detectives say Hurd called the woman, pretended to be a lieutenant with the sheriff's office, and told the woman she missed jury duty and would have a warrant for her arrest if she didn't pay the $9,300 fine. Detectives later traced the money to Hurd's account.
They told me they were an officer from Orange County Sheriff's Department and that I missed jury duty and I had a warrant out for my arrest.
It's a scheme News 6 told you about back in May when Jennifer Bennett got a similar call.
He told me that I had a $20,000 bond and I was able to pay 10% of it over the phone through Zelle.
Hello? This is Sergeant Mike Jones with the Sheriff's Office.
The calls are still happening. So many people are getting them and losing money that it prompted Orange County Sheriff John Mina, Clerk of Courts Tiffany Moore Russell, and Chief Judge Lisa Munyon to produce this public service announcement warning the public.
Every week, criminals claiming to work for the court system or law enforcement call our residents threatening to arrest them for missing jury duty.
This is a scam. The clerk's office will never contact you by phone or email, demanding money or personal information.
Seminole, Lake, and Volusia County officials have issued similar alerts. In Volusia County, the callers claim you owe a traffic citation. For Bennett, what was also startling was how much the caller seemed to know about her.
What type of information did he have?
He had my full name, date of birth, and last 3 known addresses.
But when the caller asked her to send the $2,000 with Zelle, she knew it was a scam.
Now, if they would have said, send it through, like my clerk or something like that, I probably would have sent the money.
Remember, don't fall for the scheme, don't get ripped off, but if you do, email me at theinvestigators@WKMG.com. I'm Lewis Bolden, News 6.
All right, Kathleen, have you ever ended up on a jury? Have you ever gotten out of the jury pool, the big room they stick everyone in?
You know, I have.
Really?
I did. I was in between TV jobs, and I got a jury duty summons, and it was a case. It was a shooting case, and it was I think it lasted like 2 days, day and a half, 2 days. But yeah, it was quite a interesting experience because I figured I wouldn't be picked. But then once I was picked for the jury, it was kind of eye-opening to see the whole process play out, and I'm not sure I'd want to do it again, but it was an experience. I'll say that.
I've never gotten out of the room. I've gotten the closest I ever got was, I think, when I was in San Antonio, Bexar County, Texas. They took a big chunk of us up to go, to be, I guess, for the voir dire part of it. And we got up to the floor, and as soon as we got up there, the bailiff was there, and he's like, oh, you guys can all go home. They changed their mind. Like, in the time it took us to get on the elevator and get up to the floor, they decided they didn't need us. And so that was the closest. I've never, every other time I've been there, it's been you sit in the room, you sit there all day, and then one by one, those numbers get called out. And then eventually they're like, all right, we're done for today. And you go home. It's like, cool. But
Right.
I always thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And, you know, just to see the discussions that happen in the room there. And it was interesting, I will say. But I don't know if I'd want to be on a case that was like months long. Like two days was good. And, you know, I did my civic duty.
You did your civic duty. Showing up is the civic duty. Actually getting picked is as well. So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
All righty. So from Orange County jury scheme to Osceola County and Kissimmee is growing. But this shows us the new development in the works.
I'm Stephanie Rodriguez, your Kissimmee community correspondent. The city of Kissimmee will soon have a 300-room hotel and a new convention center right here where the Kissimmee Civic Center is right now. It will be torn down and transformed into that hotel and convention center. It's an over $180 million project that Kissimmee leaders say will transform the city, and downtown businesses hope will bring them a big boost in revenue.
It's a new day in Kissimmee.
I sat down with Mayor Jackie Espinoza a day after the City Commission unanimously approved the project, and her phone was already ringing.
We already have people calling to see if they could book 3 years from now.
The 300-room luxury hotel will have restaurants, a rooftop pool and bar, retail spaces, and a shuttle service connecting to Kissimmee Gateway Airport and MCO in Orlando. Next to it, a 45,000 square foot convention center that will be built without any public debt. The agreement with Azure Hotels International guarantees the city an annual lease payment starting at $2.5 million with annual increases, recovering the city's investment within 5 years. Kissimmee will also get 5% of the hotel's profits and free access to meeting spaces.
I think it's going to be a great economical boost for our downtown merchants and storefronts. So I think it's going to be a win-win for everyone.
And some entrepreneurs agree.
So as a new business owner in the area, what do you think about the new hotel and convention center?
I completely love it. I'm in agreement with it. It's going to bring a lot of business to those who want it, and we're ready for it.
It's estimated this will bring in $5 to $6.5 million in annual property taxes, 400 construction jobs, and 150 to 250 permanent hospitality jobs.
I think it's going to change our dynamics, our landscape forever and a day.
The project, once construction begins, is expected to take about 36 months to finish, but again, they're aiming for that 2028 completion date. I'm your Kissimmee community correspondent, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
And we end up our Monday with a little fashion. For those of us who saw the movie Zoolander at a formative age, this may sound a little familiar here. Rena Nakano explains.
Stephanie Choi sees the beauty in things everywhere she goes. Things that have limited lifespans, like these lamppost signs that will soon be taken down.
Ooh, maybe we can do something with that.
Environmental Protection Agency data shows in the U.S. alone, more than 11 million tons of textiles end up in landfills. The fast fashion industry contributes to a large chunk of that. When Choi began looking for a career in sustainability, she met designer Lisa Sidlecki and architect Jenny Silbert. In 2014, the women left their corporate jobs when they found a material that changed their lives.
This is a beer filter cloth.
A giant textile made of nylon and plastic used to filter the hops and barley.
The brewery that we get the material from goes through 2 tons of it every 3 days.
It's like...
Yeah.
But its industrial strength and unique color were perfect for a fashionable bag. The women soon recruited Choi and began scavenging for other unwanted materials. Expired climbing ropes, decored and cleaned for the handles. Then came the massive airbag recall.
You can still see the original markings.
They paired the silicone-coated nylon with unusable seat belts to create a backpack.
You're going to see more square shapes so that we don't have to cut too much off of the edge.
Since then, they've experimented with overproduced karate belts, t-shirts, tents, and even foam, reimagined as bags, clothes, and furniture. Their work sparked collaborations with big brands and artists like Billie Eilish and Coldplay. And for those who want a more personal upcycling experience, Rewilder just launched its new Airbnb Original Experience, where you're invited into their studio to create something of your own. Guests will turn this leftover banner from their prior production of totes into a vinyl clutch.
There's been more love and labor that's been poured into something that is sustainable, that is upcycled.
Joy says it's a lot more work than fast fashion, but hopes people appreciate the beauty of slowly breathing new life into trash. Rena Nakano, CBS News, Glendale, California.
All right, Kathleen, thoughts? Is that the kind of, is that a handbag going to be in the, rotation for you anytime soon or no?
You know what? I like the idea. I like the idea of recycling. I don't know, so much stuff goes to waste and goes into landfills, so I do like the idea. So yeah, I may get one of those clutches that's made from a banner or the backpack. I would do that.
There's a company out there that takes like old ice hockey goalie equipment, and they take the leather off of it and they make it into wallets and other kinds of stuff. And I've always thought that would be like fun to have, for hockey fans out there, can reuse some of those things that, again, they give it a quick second life and, breathe new life back into it.
Right.
Reuse, reduce, recycle.
Right. Keeps it out of the landfills. And why not?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, it's been a good Monday, right?
It has.
Shift's coming to an end. I came in extra early today. You came in early. Day's winding up.
Don't
Big
have
plans
much longer.
for the week, and then we're off. It'll be Friday before you know it. So,
Right,
anyway,
exactly.
Kathleen, thank you as always for putting the show together. Thank you to Candace for the weather, and thank you for watching. We'll be back here tomorrow at 12:30 to do this all over again. Meanwhile, if you want breaking news or weather, click Orlando.com. And of course, we'll be on the air today starting at 4 o'clock. Have a good one. Bye.
We'll be right back.